Alrighty, welcome back to the Gentleman's Gathering. This is episode 2.
Gentlemen, this is a gathering. Gentleman's gathering.
Very intellectual. We're in episode 2, and this time we're going to have some gameplay recording, because, man, was it boring to just
Our
talk.
voices are extremely boring.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd distract you with pretty colours and gameplay.
Yeah, I think we should harass the AI Snow. You know what? The AI actually gives me a good idea for a beginner topic. You guys ready for it?
Yeah. Alright, what's our topic?
Do you think AI will actually take over the world in the future?
That's a hard question to answer.
I say yes.
I think AI are going to be a very key part of humanity in the future. Like, there's going to be a lot of dependency on AI for things. But I don't know if they'll necessarily take over as the dominant species. I don't really know if you can call an AI a species, but you know what I mean, right?
He just hit me with 6 cards, I think he's got something. He's out for me.
Alright, I guess that you just totally ignore my point then, that's fine. It's alright. I didn't
I
really
know
want
what
to
you
contribute to
said.
the conversation anyway.
You think
No,
it'd
it's
be more
fine,
of a
that's cool.
You think it'd be more of a helping hand than an actual dominant species? Somewhat.
More of like a crutch. Like, humanity
Oh, it's already
will,
a crutch.
Not be able to survive without the AI, and
It's a massive crutch even
sort
now.
of cyberpunk style. Sort of everyone has implants, and AI does everything for us, and all that sort of stuff.
That'd actually be really interesting.
I think that's a pretty good prediction of the future, to be honest, of everyone having personalized AI and depending on them to do basically everything.
Well, everything except, like the really basic information processing. But the AI does all the math and like all the calculations and all that.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Shut up.
Yeah, maybe. I'd say...
At least from now we know that Cameron has 3 blue cards.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Cameron's being very unproductive to his conversation. He's just in his own world, thinking about all the AI stuff.
He probably doesn't know what an AI is. You should explain it to him.
Bruh.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he's that stupid.
effectively fail you.
I'm sure about that.
I mean, he's dumb, but he's not that dumb.
Yes. Selective dumb.
Why?
No, the better phrase would be he's dumb, but he's not uneducated.
Okay. Right. Does anyone else have anything to add to the AI discussion?
Oh, I actually think I think AI will eventually form a singularity. Have you heard of that theory?
Sort of. I have like a
No.
general idea of what it is.
It's the theory that an AI will eventually become advanced enough that it can recognize defects in its own code and like improve them. And at that point, it just constantly keep improving itself until it reaches like a singularity, at which point it's so far above humanity, it's basically a god. I think AI will eventually reach that point.
Oofed.
That's very not fresh.
Yeah, get
Well,
wrecked.
actually, here's an interesting theory, which isn't actually mine. It's a YouTube video I watched quite a while ago, so I might not be quoting it correctly, but it was by Tom Scott. He does some pretty good educational YouTube videos. And it was about a hypothetical situation about an AI called Earworm, which it was designed to stop copyright infringement by just like going through YouTube videos and wherever there was copyrighted music, it'd just like delete the music and stuff like that.
Okay,
But
yeah.
when they coded it, when they didn't like give it its parameters right, so it went through the whole internet and deleted anything that was copyrighted.
Oof.
And then it became, and it looked through so much internet data, it like learnt pretty much everything and became self-aware. And it learnt how to use micro machines to alter the human mind through like nanosurgery, basically.
The hell?
And
Okay.
And so it went through and it deleted everyone's memories of copyrighted things.
Hey, you don't remember that
And
copyright
whenever-
never happened.
And whenever someone tried to destroy the AI, it would just make them forget that the AI existed in the first place. So it didn't like take over the world and control everything. Humans were still living their lives and being happy and stuff like that. But copyrighted music didn't exist. Movies and TV shows, just like it didn't exist. People forgot about them completely. And, you know, but no one was hurt in the takeover or anything like that. But this AI was still sort of controlling everything that humanity knew and was able to do, which I thought was an interesting hypothetical. And I'd probably recount it in a really shitty way because I haven't watched the video in a while and I don't know that much about AI, but that was the sort of general premise.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Could you move your mic a bit further back?
Sorry, I was leaning forward. That's
Okay, yeah, that's
not
all right.
the mic.
Yeah. Because
I think
you
it's,
haven't noticed, I died.
Yeah, we did notice.
I didn't notice, I just didn't say anything.
Yeah, we just
The
didn't
AI
care.
is more charismatic than you anyway.
Bro.
Alright. The round just ended, so we'll quit out and then we'll join or create a new lobby.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Very
Yeah.
light.
I think that hypothetical is a bit counterintuitive because why the hell would the AI bother going so far for an end goal? If it reaches the point in which you're gonna just
because it never got programmed to stop. So it was on like an infinite loop of delete copyrighted material, and it never got told like how far to stop in deleting copyrighted material. You know?
Wait. The thing I'm arguing is if the AI ever reaches the point where it decides to start deleting copyrighted material from human minds, it's probably also reached a point where it's realized that, you know, its initial programming is a little loopy. It'll just start doing other things at that point. It wouldn't just be solely based on copyright. It'd be like, you know what? I can remove copyrighted material, I can also do this. And you'd go on from there. I think trying to restrict it to those kinds of boundaries when it's already powerful enough to change human memory is kind of dumb. And at this point, I don't know how AI is going to progress. It might do something like that.
I guess.
It might be restricted to our weird limitations. Who knows? What are your thoughts, Camo? Have you been thinking about...
Nano machines, son. Nano machines, son.
My brain's been trying to like work overtime, but yet it's still churning out nothing. So,
Good work. This is all you need, an
I
AI
keep
implant.
I'm a smooth brain.
You need an AI
We
implant to
forgive
do
you.
all the... Yeah. You just need an
Forgive me
implant
and my smooth brain.
that does all the work for you, so you can just think about tanks and hentai. That's what you need.
Okay, I didn't get +6. Thank you.
Man, like, you know, tanks and hentai are pretty good, but like, what about tank hentai?
You reckon there'd be AI advanced enough in the future to just like really accurately simulate those kinds of things instantly? So you'd like type in some categories and it'd instantly make a video based on what you typed in. That'd be...
Yeah, I think that's like sort of like technically already possible if you had a powerful enough computer. Like generating videos automatically is definitely possible. It's just like they wouldn't be fast enough that you just Google it and it's there.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
It'd be like-
computer generated content is definitely a thing.
So like Camo could go Panzer V tank exploding and getting nuked while anime women rain out of it. And the AI would just be like, I got you, fam. Just start making that video.
I don't think I want to live in a world like that. Bro, imagine how embarrassing your search history would be though if that
Yeah.
was the world that we lived in. Where you had to be like ultra specific about what you wanted and it would make it specifically for you. Like everyone's search history would be like so personal. But
Yeah, Google would be
know.
all over that data. It'd be like, this is nice.
yes, ads would just be like, you know those like custom shirts you get from weird Facebook ads?
Yeah.
Where it like just puts together like a bunch of words that you said on Facebook in the past.
Yes.
Just like
It's
imagine
here.
that, but like super specific. It's like, I was born in January 2002 and I like tank hentai. Get on my level, like just stupid shirts like that. It's like,
Yeah.
men were born in July 2012 and like tank hentai. Just something like that, you know?
Yeah,
It's
you need to
sort of
stop
shows.
leaning forward.
Personally attack.
Oh, because I didn't want to reveal any of my own kinks, so I just used the one you already said publicly.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's good. It's good.
I think that's fairly reasonable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Move
That's
yourself
fair. I
back,
can see that.
bruh. Like straight up.
No.
You're clipping though.
You're clipping.
Oh, fuck.
I'll clip you.
It starts no clipping through walls and shit. Yeah.
Oh,
you reckon it can-
Skyrim.
Dude, you reckon it can make its own games just for you? You'd be like, oh yeah, I want an open world, this based on this. And it'll just make the game, like in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
that's probably quite possible.
It would probably be so
I don't know
oversaturated just with entertainment at that
But-
point.
My mic gain keeps on like automatically setting itself back to 100 after I specifically set it to 91. It keeps changing itself and it's making me upset.
That's fair.
So that's probably why I was peaking, not because of me being too close to the mic, because I haven't moved the mic.
Yeah, now you sound a lot better.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
changed it back now. I don't know why it's doing that.
If AI ever reaches that
Bruh.
point, you think the human... It's going to sound a bit odd, but do you think the suicide rate in humans would be higher, or would it be lower? Because for one, you've got
I think-
everything you've ever wanted, right? But for two, you have everything you've ever wanted. There is no purpose to life at that point. There is no end goal beyond this. Anything you could possibly conceive, you have.
But
Like, what would you want
wouldn't just
beyond
wanna,
that?
Like, wouldn't you want to just enjoy all the stuff you have, you know?
Yeah, you would for a bit,
Right.
but eventually you'd
If
just
I
be
can,
like,
But just being honest, is there any point to living currently?
no, hell no.
Exactly.
But it'd be even worse in the future, I reckon. Like, you know, you'd have everything. Every conceivable
But
thing.
imagine, if you die right now, you would never get the chance to eat KFC again.
You're right.
Very
And I
sad.
wasn't really dead. So I'd
Very
be dead.
sad thoughts.
Alright, let's bring this into... What's your favourite
Why would I
fast
care
food
if I can't
restaurant?
eat KFC again? If I'm dead.
No, wait, you can't bring up 2 topics in a row. It's someone else's turn to bring up a topic.
No, this
I
is
don't
like a
have any
mini
topics,
topic.
so that's-
This is just a...
Well,
This,
no, I have a... Well,
no, this
stop-
is like one of
Oh,
Cameron's
I have-
topics, which is a simple one-word
I have-
answer.
I have
say
a
the-
food-related topic that I want to bring up, so stop stepping on my toes, you cuck. Food
I mean,
feud is my thing, remember? Dumbass.
I mean, I've written down a few topics and they're all food related. So
Oh
Well,
god, oh
you're
freak.
stupid.
I'm not dying.
Alright, fair enough. I guess
So-
Kajana's going next with topics.
To the 0.3 people who are still watching this shit show after listening to the last 10 minutes,
Yeah, like-
welcome back to Food Feud, my food-related section of the podcast. And today's Food Feud question is, what is your ideal Subway sandwich?
Ooh. I have 2.
Like, if money was no object, you could put as many bonuses and whatever you want on that shit.
If money
What
was
is
no
your ideal
object...
Subway sandwich? And
That's
you can't use
entirely-
like limited edition stuff. It has to be regular menu stuff that you could get anytime.
If money was no object...
Money is no object. What is your ideal perfect sub?
Okay, so we're gonna start off with Italian herbs and cheese, garlic bread one, with the triple mozzarella. Chuck
Right.
that on with double meat chicken schnitzel, with even
Ooh,
more
okay.
old English cheese, because man, I love cheese. And
I
then
see,
we're
I
gonna
see.
chuck on, let's see, bacon. Bacon's nice. What else? A little bit of blue cheese, a little bit of ranch.
Yeah.
So those go well with chicken schnitzel. And then for vegetables, I don't know, probably just lettuce, olives, maybe carrot.
Okay.
Yes, I do like olives. Don't judge me. I like how salty they are. They taste nice. It's like
Oh,
bonus
okay.
salt.
I personally don't like olives, but there's nothing wrong with other people liking them. I wouldn't say you're stupid because you like olives, because that's not true. You know, olives are still decent. I just don't like them myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lamau +6, get dunked, kid.
Yeah, this bot has no mercy. The AI revolution has
Oh, I
begun.
got skipped. Oh, you got skipped.
Chomper is
I
a
don't
sin.
have it.
Chomper is the devil
Cameron-
himself in AI form.
I'm sorry, little one.
And Tasman, would you put any are you having any cookies or a drink with that?
Personally, I don't like cookies with the sub. It kind of seems like contradictory flavors.
Not in the sub, but like, are you ordering anything with it? And what's your ideal combo?
Of course, I don't mean in the sub. I just don't like Subway cookies in general. Like, I don't hate them, but I just don't have them very often. I'm like, they're kind of neutral towards them.
Okay, hold on 2 seconds.
The entire internet's gonna be like, yo, cancel this boy, he don't like Subway cookies. Alright, Camo, what about you? You've probably been to Subway a grand total of 2 times in your life. But
Pretty much.
give us your best judgment.
And I used to have I forgot what it was. It's been that long. It's been like well over a year.
Yeah, I can imagine. I had Subway like 2 weeks ago, I think. There's one literally a K off from where I am. That's nice.
That's fair. All of it is definitely Italian herbs and cheese or whatever that one is.
Dude, it's always Italian herbs and cheese. I went to flatbread for a bit, but they cancelled it. They cancelled the poor flatbread.
Yeah, I know. Flatbread was so good. I don't know why they got rid of it. I love that.
It was
All
good.
I remember is what bread, what vegetables, and what cheese.
You don't remember the
Old
meat?
English cheese.
Oh,
No, I
Old
don't
English.
remember the meat. I think I
Old
used to
English
change
is
that.
good, dude. It's got the most flavour out
With
of all
Old
the
English
cheeses.
cheese. For vegetables, it was lettuce, carrot, and cucumber.
It's probably something chicken related then. That's what I'd guess.
Perhaps.
And the bread was always Italian herbs.
Italian herbs is the
Always.
best, hands down, out of the selection they got.
There's a Subway on our university campus. I literally had lunch there today. It's good stuff.
Yeah, there's one like
Very
pretty
cool.
close from where I am. Actually,
Like,
I've
the
got all
campus isn't
the...
that close to my house, but like on days when I go in, I can just get Subway and it's right there.
Yeah, I remember that bit.
Essentially in the main building in the hub.
Yeah, I remember when I did the, what was it, like tour, I guess, of that uni. That's when I remember we had Subway for lunch. Those
Okay,
MFs
I
made
guess that
us
means
choose...
it's my turn.
No, wait. Those MFs made us choose
they make?
either a Subway sandwich, 6-inch, or one cookie. Who the hell would choose a cookie over an entire damn sandwich?
Big brain time.
Like, why?
Alright, I guess it's my turn to say my ideal Subway sandwich, right?
Yep, guess so.
So, we got a foot long,
Mm-hmm.
chuck it on some Italian herbs and cheese bread,
Yep, the default best combo.
a chicken classic
Okay.
right, with double cheese, mozzarella. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we put some salt and pepper, of course, as you do.
Yep, of course. By default.
Oh, stop bullying me.
And we have spinach,
Ooh, okay.
jalapenos,
Mm-hmm.
and pickles, which is probably going to sound disgusting, but in my personal opinion, it's really nice. That's
I
what
think
like.
jalapenos and pickle would work good together, and spinach doesn't really have a strong flavour anyway, so it doesn't sound too
Yeah,
bad.
spinach is basically just lettuce, but good. In my opinion, anyway.
Dude,
Spinach is just good lettuce.
I don't eat lettuce for the taste,
and
I eat
then-
lettuce for the crunch, basically.
For sauces, we have Thousand Island
Yeah.
and sweet onion sauce, both of them together.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
actually a crazy good combo that everyone is sleeping on. Trust me.
I gotta try that. The Thousand Island Sweet Onion combo.
Yeah,
Sounds
it
good.
is crazy good. And it actually goes really well with meatballs as well. A meatball sub with Thousand Island and sweet onion.
Ooh, yeah, I might try that. You know how
Molto bene.
you know how I first got exposed to Thousand Island sauce?
How?
It was back in 2010 when I was visiting India. And I went to the Subway and I'm like, hey, could I get tomato sauce on this? And the guy just pours 1,000 Island on it, and then I go, sit down and I eat it. I'm like, what is this? This is
Yes.
tomato sauce. And he's like, is it good? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And he just walks off.
Is it good? Just eat it then.
Yeah. He literally gave 0. Absolutely. He didn't care. He's like, if it's good enough, it's good enough.
I ain't getting paid enough for this shit.
Yeah, if that happened in Australia, they'd be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I just like start remaking a sub. That boy, he didn't care. He wasn't getting paid enough to deal with me.
He doesn't get paid enough to care.
Yeah, exactly. Everything in India is hella cheap. I kind of want to go back. But, yeah, it was fun visiting there.
Yeah, but like that's the thing, right? There's some places where it's like, yeah, it's really nice to visit, but do you really want to go
Yeah.
back and live there again? Like
No,
for me, my family's from Kenya, and going back there to visit is always really cool, and I always have a really good time. But I don't think I want to live there, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though it's the place where almost my entire family is from, pretty much.
I heard some
And a
statistics.
lot of my family still lives there.
Yeah, I heard some statistics about Kenya, but I can't remember what they were exactly. It was something. Was it robbery rates? I don't think so.
A lot of poverty and a lot of crime.
Yeah, generally.
That's basically all you need to know.
I think it would be pretty beautiful though in general. It's just the situation that's
Poverty,
kind of.
crime, government corruption.
Yeah,
good
I think it
stuff.
was that.
All
I
the
think it was one of the
typical-
most
It's like
corrupt.
if you look like starter pack for an African country, those are like 4 of the 5 things,
Yeah.
and the other one is like good natural resources.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What about you, Camo? Do you have anywhere you'd like to visit again?
What do you mean again? I've barely visited anywhere the first time.
Surely you've gone
It's
somewhere.
like, oh man, visiting Adelaide again would be pretty nice. I haven't been there in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I've only left the state 3 times.
That's oof. I think I've only left. No, actually, no. I've left a lot.
Those times I left, 2 times was to go to Canberra and 1 time was to go to Sydney.
I haven't been to
Sydney's pretty
Sydney.
Nice. Definitely
been
would
there.
want to live there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Man, I had a headache the whole week I went there, so you know.
Yeah,
You
it's
ever just
probably
watch
like the
Daily
sleep
Dose of
shit.
Internet and you like see the beautiful landscapes and
do
you're like,
not.
what?
Not really.
Dude, how do you guys not watch Daily Dose of Internet? Surely at
Because
least
we're not
sometimes.
stupid.
What did you say?
I just
Well,
don't.
Fair enough.
Oof.
But he shows a lot of just beautiful scenery and stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish I could visit that, except I'm poor. That's very sad.
First
Oh,
world
fuck,
problems.
quit. Rest in peace.
Oh, good work. Now we gotta start the lobby again.
You call it first world problems.
Brain time.
I call it trying
Continue
to.
and it didn't go away, so I pressed it again, but then it exited. I'm like, oh, okay.
Good work, good
I
work.
did not hear what you said, Tasman, because Cameron was talking over you.
Well, I said
Because my
you
opinion
can.
matters and yours does not.
Okay. I said you can call it first world problems, but I call it just, generally being bored with life and trying to find something more to do. Or something to
Yeah, but
experience.
the fact that you're thinking about is the thing you're considering as a life experience is traveling to another country is
Instead
a
of
pretty,
just-
like first world thing.
Yeah,
Whereas
instead
I'm
of
sure
just being
people in the
alive.
third world have some other concerns that are more important than where they go on holiday.
True. But, I'm not sure actually. I think
Hence why I think it would be a first world problem, but maybe that's just me.
first world, the problem? I guess.
Like, being discontent with your life is a problem that everyone has. But being discontent with your life and wanting to travel the world to fix that is a first world issue.
Oh,
Like, not having the
it's not
funds to
going to
go on a
fix that. I
worldwide
know that
tour
for certain.
is a first
Okay.
world problem.
I'm going to be just as miserable when I come back as I am when I leave. But it's going to be nice experiences, when you're old and you can be like, oh, I remember back when I was 23 and I did this and I almost broke my leg. Man, that was fun, you know? I think that'd be nice to have.
With memes.
Your grandkids could be like, tell me how you survived the global pandemic, and you just be like, yeah, I played Uno with my friends, you know? That's all we did.
Oh yeah, we made a really shitty podcast that you're not allowed to listen to. That's illegal.
Yeah, exactly. You can't listen to me for 60 years.
From hearing my teenager voice.
Oh, hell yeah. I
don't know about you, but I'm definitely going to play this at my funeral.
This podcast, this specific episode that is the most unstructured
episode 2.
piece of shit. Not even talking about the topics we wanted to talk about. This episode of the podcast.
I think this is just better though. Like, it's just better to go off topic generally. I mean, we got some topics, but we're not really super on topic.
We've had like 2 topics this whole time.
Alright, yeah, who's next up on the chopping block? Camo, you're up. Go.
It's Cam's turn.
Alright, topics.
Yeah,
Yes,
give us one.
Alright. Just wait a sec, I'm doing stuff. I need a...
Stuff is actually his body
thanks.
pillow.
I
That's what
need
he
to close
named
out
it.
the tank in time. What is your opinion on microwave popcorn?
I think it's not too bad.
Well, I already hate regular popcorn, so microwave popcorn is just regular popcorn but more burnt and with less flavour, so I hate it more.
That's fair.
He really does hate popcorn. I don't understand why.
Because it's disgusting, and it's like, if I wanted to get stuff stuck in my teeth, I would bite the dirt and get some sticks in there, you know? It would probably taste better too.
Dude, dirt's
Like,
delicious,
yeah,
hands down. When you were a kid
Popcorn
eating
is-
dirt, damn.
Popcorn is just styrofoam coated in butter, designed specifically to get stuck in the gaps between your teeth.
I mean, as we're speaking, I currently have, I think 9 pieces of microwave popcorn that are ready to be microwaved.
9 pieces, 9 individual kernels.
Yeah, as in 9 bags.
To go in the microwave. I can imagine, like, with twins, just counting them out. Oh yes, I have 9 pieces of microwave popcorn left.
Delicious. No, it's 9 bags.
Oof.
Hold up.
Plus 8. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hold on to it.
I'm doing it. Fuck. Oh god. Free.
Imagine thinking you're on Uno, but then getting a plus 10. Lamau.
No, not again.
No! Surely not. This is
Do
against
it.
the rules.
Get wrecked.
This is literally illegal. Oh, we're not Cameron's just gonna win. He always wins. It's not fair.
Oh yeah, so overall I think microwave popcorn, it's alright. I think popcorn in general is pretty
shit.
okay. You know, I wouldn't say it's the best food, I wouldn't say it's the worst food.
Hey,
That's like saying, do you prefer cardboard or yellow cardboard? They're both shit. I don't like popcorn and I don't like microwave popcorn.
That's like
I mean,
just
like,
your
I had a-
opinion, man.
I was packed the other day, and I'm just like, who the fuck actually eats this shit regularly?
I mean, no, I only eat it when I'm watching a movie or
It's
something.
unhealthy as shit for you.
Ah,
Not that I'm
of
like
course
an
it is.
ambassador of health or anything. But
Actually,
yeah,
my sister has microwave popcorn quite a bit. Like, not
Fair
every
enough.
day or anything like that. Like, you know, maybe like once every fortnight or something. Once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
that's fair.
Alright, should we get back to the deep and philosophical topics?
Yes, just like we're always talking about here on the Gentleman's Gathering. Deep and philosophical problems.
I mean,
have
that's
the-
what I try and talk about. I'm not sure what you guys just bring up random topics. I like having a big think about
Well,
things.
it's the whole point is that we're just supposed to be having... The whole point is that we're supposed to be having a casual chat together. You don't usually bring up heavy philosophy in a casual chat with the boys.
No, I do. I do it all the time.
I know, it's really annoying actually. Can you stop?
You're like,
This is an intervention. No more philosophy in the podcast.
Dude, my next question's literally around philosophy.
Sorry, it's a band now.
Well, it's
We're
not
not allowed
quite
to do that
philosophy,
anymore.
but it's sort of in that ballpark. Actually, I guess it's more.
No, that's alright. What do we have for us today?
Wait, what was it gonna be? Okay, here it is. Do you
Do you
think
actually
art?
have them written down? What sort of nerd are you?
No, I don't have it written down. It's just in my head, dipstick. I just have to think about it. And try and
When you
remember
said
the
like,
exact
oh,
wording.
where is it? And it sounded like you were looking for
I said, what is it? What? Like unit of power. What? Unit of... Yeah, it's unit of power.
That's kind of stupid. What does that have to do with anything? We're not talking about power. This isn't a circuit. Cameron, did you quit again? Okay, no, it's just the AI was in a different spot. Never mind.
What?
Don't worry about it.
What
Let's
do you
change
like?
topic.
I'm just
Okay.
in my own world. I'm not focusing on anything right now.
Yeah, we
The
can
topic
tell.
is
But then again,
it's
I'm not even so can't be that bad.
I've won like the last 4 in a row.
Cameron literally just won. Are you dumb?
Or 3 in a row, I guess.
I have stupid.
The previous 3, that's what I had won.
Right.
But
Can we actually get to the topic now?
if you'd stop interrupting me, maybe I could.
Well, Cameron's
No.
the one who's been interrupting you, actually. But, you know.
Well,
You just did just
I
then.
didn't put
That was
anything
you.
else, so I may as well input my interruption.
What? No,
Okay.
whatever. Alright, topic time. Do you think art needs to have meaning behind it, or can there be art without meaning?
Doesn't most art not have meaning anyway?
Oh, it doesn't
Well,
have
like, I
meaning to
mean,
you, but
obviously,
it might have meaning
like
to
it has emotion and stuff behind it, but it doesn't necessarily have like a meaning. Like you're not supposed to look at art and get a message from it. It's more about like feelings and stuff, isn't it? At least that's the way I think of art. Is that it's
Well,
about
that is kind of
emotions.
meaning, isn't it? Getting feeling. That
I
is
just
a
think art needs to
meaning.
look cool.
Like, it's that definition of
fair.
meaning. It isn't like, strictly, oh, you get this moral from it. It's like, it has some purpose, it has some meaning. You get something out of it besides just the art form
Yeah, but
itself.
like you don't get like a cosmic message of being
Yeah.
kind to your neighbor or something like that. It's just like, oh, this person was depressed and they drew a picture, cool picture, right?
Oh,
You know
I
what I mean?
guess.
It's like, I can tell you were depressed, cool. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm thinking more of like when you look
it
at
doesn't
art.
change how good or how bad the picture looks.
Yeah,
you know?
it's nothing to do with quality. I'm thinking like when you look at art, you wouldn't just be like, oh, they put some paint here. Okay. It'd be more like, I wonder what they're actually trying to paint. Why? Like, what the whole purpose behind it, the whole meaning of the artwork. It's gonna sound pretty pretentious, but
I don't really get those. I've never been to an art gallery before, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
neither
just
have
pointing
I.
this out,
but
when I look at art, I don't usually go, I wonder what the inner machinations of that person's mind were as they were drawing this piece of art. I usually just go, nice colours. I'm like, oh, that looks like a road, pretty detailed. That's nice. That's it, right? Because I'm a very literal thinker, so I just look at it and I'm like, oh, that looks nice,
I mean,
Fair
fair
enough,
enough.
like,
But
really cool.
by art, I don't
Move on.
strictly
Like,
just mean.
I can understand the fact that there's emotion behind it and that the person making it had emotions when they did it, but
That's good enough, basically.
I don't really like when I'm actually looking at a piece of art. I don't think of that. I don't look at it and be like, I wonder how they were feeling. I don't do that.
I'm gonna execute you, Cameron.
What?
Oh, you only get a +4.
Oh, you have to
That's
pick
so
up
sad.
8. Liminal.
You should have gone the whole thing.
Well, yeah, you still had the +8 from the AI and me, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been his though. Anyway, by art I don't necessarily just mean paintings and stuff. I mean like all art forms. Does art need to have
When I
meaning?
look at a photo, I don't go, I wonder if the person who took this photo was feeling sad. I just go, that's a very nice aesthetic photo.
Oh
Or
yeah,
if
then
I
why is it
listen to a piece
aesthetic?
of music,
What do you like about the
Because-
photo? That's the whole meaning behind it.
because
isn't
it has it has appealing colors and it has a good set using the rule of thirds in such a way that it's subconsciously pleasing to the human mind because we like certain patterns.
I could give you a photo exactly like that, but you might not find it pleasing. You know, there's certain things about photos that
Or
just
I
can't
might
be
find it
quantitated.
pleasing.
You'd find it pleasing if I had 3 color schemes which are on the opposite ends of the color wheel, and just there. There's nothing detailed about it. It's just 3 strips of color. Would you find that aesthetically pleasing, or would you find it aesthetically boring?
That's the flag of most European countries.
It really is, and I find most European country flags pretty boring. And, you know, it's like,
Wow, okay, we just offended all of Europe. Nice going, everybody. Mission
I
accomplished.
offended all of the Europe flag makers. Like, get it good.
Wales?
What?
I don't know. It's gonna sound kind of
I'm looking
pretentious.
for something. Yeah, it's the
You just
flag
cut
of
it out
Wales.
completely.
Yeah.
Yes, the flag of Wales has a dragon on it, and it's green and white and stuff.
and red.
Very cool.
It is very
It
cool.
is.
Anyway,
So much
yeah,
better than like France.
I'm in that ballpark where I think all art should have some kind of meaning. Like, just making
But
something
some
or a
people
movie.
just make art for fun. Why do you have to put a feeling in it? Why does everything have to be so deep?
Well, then
Can't I
that's
just
the
paint
meaning.
Because I enjoy painting.
No, that's the
Can be
meaning then,
done.
because you enjoyed it.
What?
As in, like,
That's not a meaning. That's an emotion. Happiness is an emotion, not a meaning.
but does an
I know what
emotion
you're saying.
give you meaning? Like,
And then an emotion isolated doesn't give you meaning. To the person who made the painting has a very intrinsic meaning that's related to them as a person because it's something that they made and produced with their emotions in it. For me, looking at that picture, I was like, oh, this picture makes me feel happy. That's not a meaning. That's just me feeling an emotion because I
you
saw
need to,
something. It's
you
not,
need to take
you know?
out the whole painting and picture thing. The main thing I'm referring to is
Right.
plays and movies. Should plays and movies have a strict morals and meanings? Because a lot of them don't, and I hate all of them that don't, because they're really bland, and there's like nothing to say.
Give us an example of a movie. that you
Holmes
think
and
is
Watson.
bland, And
The recent Holmes and
I have
Watson
not seen
movie
it.
was made strictly for just keeping the Sherlock Holmes copyright alive. There's nothing particularly special about it. It's not really funny. There's no meaning. The recent Pirates of the Caribbean movie is Dead Men Tell No Tales. It was okay. There's not really any meaning behind it.
So, what you're actually saying is that you don't like formulaic art that's created just to meet quotas and create attention.
So you don't like mass-produced art.
You don't like
Oh, no, there's some
mass-produced
mass-produced-
content that's made without emotion behind it.
No, there's some I quite like.
Because you can have a movie, because, for example, with looking at movies, you can have a movie that doesn't tell a moral story. You can have, like, a purely comedy movie that it's just funny, but it's a good movie that was created by someone who's passionate about making movies, right? You don't
That's
necessarily
meaning.
need a movie to have a meaning. Yeah, I understand
It's
that
in
the
a weird
person had a
part.
meaning when they made the film of them being passionate, but the film itself doesn't convey any meaning. It just makes you laugh. You
Can
know?
you name a film like that you
It
actually
doesn't-
liked?
It doesn't make you think. It doesn't make you think. Oh, I should go out and love people more, or I should be more kind to people. It's just, that movie was funny, right?
You're really stretching the meaning to
let's
like.
look at
I don't mean
a
life-changing
recent
meaning.
example,
I mean
right?
like.
Sonic, the
kinda.
Sonic movie, right?
Yep,
The Sonic movie.
it does have
I
a
watched
moral.
it. It made me laugh. I thought it was funny. It had a moral in it,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So that's a piece of art that has a meaning, and the meaning is that friends are important, and you can be together with people even if you're different to people, right? Which I don't think is very realistic, but it is a
Yeah.
meaning that's there.
I agree. It ain't realistic, but it's there.
If you watch a Monty Python sketch, like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the whole point of that is jokes and puns and comedy. You don't get any deep meaning or anything like that, but it's
No,
still
no.
good
There's
quality
definitely
and
meaning in Monty
entertaining.
Python. There is definitely meaning in it.
What would you say the meaning would be in Monty
Dude,
Python?
just
and
watch the
Holy Grail?
videos. There are like thousands of analysis videos on it. I think it's just a satire on filmmaking in general, and that's the meaning of it. It's a satire on traditional filmmaking techniques. You know, the Monty Python The Holy Grail starts with coconuts, which is
you know what?
expectation subversion. That is the meaning.
Do you know what I think is happening here? You know the typical meme of the English teacher when there's a book
Yeah.
that says the curtains were blue.
Yeah.
And the teacher goes, oh, but that means that they were sad and stuff. This is basically what you're coming forward with, is you're saying every single piece of art ever has a meaning, and if it doesn't have a meaning, it's not art. That's you. You're the English teacher.
No,
I
I'm
am
saying
the
art
student who's
should
saying,
have meaning.
I
I
think
don't
the
say
curtains are just blue.
no.
You're the
I'm not
person
saying every
the
art
whole
has
film
meaning.
is actually a satire on the entire film industry, and it's talking about how directors are bad and everyone makes content just to make money, whereas Monty Python is
It
there
is,
to
though.
entertain people and be unique and
It
stuff.
literally is. You chose the absolute worst example of a film with no meaning because Monty Python has buckets of it. You could have chosen something better and something stupid, like, modern films mainly. But you fucking chose Monty Python.
So you're going, oh, I was born in the wrong decade. Movies used to be so good and everything had a meaning. I like Shakespeare.
Oh no, I
That's
hate
what you're
Shakespeare.
doing.
Shakespeare's cringe. I hate Romeo and Juliet.
I like
It's like
all
such
three
a
of
dumb
us are on
story.
you,
Romeo and Juliet's like, bruh, just shut up, basically, the whole time. That's what I feel.
Right.
Modern
So you
movies.
like art with meaning, but you don't like art with meaning. I see.
I don't like Shakespeare, is what I'm saying. It's because it's been so oversaturized. It's like, wow, Shakespeare, cool. I'm very familiar with it. Modern films don't necessarily have to be bad. I don't even like old films. I've watched barely any of them. The thing is that some modern films just can't entirely lack any sort of meaning or anything to them. It's just like, okay, you made a film. So what? What about this film should I appreciate or, take with me? That causes me to remember. Is it just a piece of media that I use for entertainment and that's it? That's what I mean. That everything
But
should have
what's wrong with
somewhat...
having a piece of media that you just use for entertainment? What's wrong with being entertained?
Could you name
Piece
one
of
that's
media
just
that's
for entertainment? Nothing else.
Doesn't it have a meaning of just to be entertained by this piece of shit, you fucking cow? Isn't that the meaning behind it?
Just be entertained by it.
Can
I mean, I guess you could say that. But,
You can find meaning in anything, but that doesn't mean that there was originally a meaning intended to be there, right? Everything is open to interpretation, the way you see something and the way you get a message from something, right? So
I guess, yeah.
someone might watch a movie and just think, wow, cool visual effects. I like that actor. That was an entertaining movie. Someone else might watch that movie and go, wow, that's a really deep critique on our society, and not even care about the actors or VFX or anything like that at all, and only care about the plot. Art is subjective, which is why we can't give you a straight answer to this subject that you've brought up.
Yeah, that's a good way
Fair
to put
enough.
it. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
that's a fair point.
Art is subjective, meaning is subjective.
Well, I guess a better point is,
I didn't mean to go yellow.
when you're making art, should you always put meaning into it, or should you just, make something because you could?
Fine.
Good work, Camo. You done well.
I don't
Mate.
think we should be gatekeeping the art community and saying you're not a real artist because you didn't put things
No.
and undercurrents into your piece of work.
I don't
No,
give a
I don't
crap
think-
about real
I don't
artists.
think we should make meaning. I don't think we should make meaning mandatory for art. Because that's what
No.
you're saying. You're saying should every art need to have a meaning when it's made? I'm saying no.
You're strictly no. Okay. Yeah, it's not about being an artist. I think the term artist is just kind of dumb. Like, nothing makes you an artist. Everyone's an artist in their own way. It's just, if you're gonna make something, should that something have a meaning? Like a proper, to you, to someone else? Or is it just something that you chose to make because you could? The main reason I bring
What
this
if
up...
it's meaning?
No.
Because, like, for example, I just sketch in the border of my notebook and stuff, right?
Well, does
has
that have
no
meaning to
It's
you?
something
Are you
I do.
sketching for no reason?
I'm literally just bored and I'm writing in my book. Just like making some cool geometric patterns because I'm bored. It has no meaning, no significance. I probably wouldn't even remember it the next day,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you call
So
that
not
art, or would
all
you call that
art- so
scribbles
not all
then?
creations need to have a meaning.
You reckon?
That's what the thing is, though. Art is subjective. Someone could see those scribbles and go, wow, that's a nice geometric pattern you've got there. That's pretty cool.
A true
Or like if an
artiste.
actual artist, or if an artist is just sketching in their book, like while they're bored, Some people who have like ADD or stuff like that just sketch while they're doing stuff because they're bored, and that's a way for them to, do something.
You bring up good
they
points.
they wouldn't consider it art. It's just something they're doing to help them focus on something else by distracting their hands, right? But someone else can look at it and say, wow, that's a really good sketch you've done. That's a piece of art. And they'd be like, okay, but they don't have any meaning behind it because they were just sketching to keep their hands busy. You know, not all art has a meaning, is what I'm trying to, you know.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
to
I
someone
fully
else who's
agree with your
looking at
point.
it, they could perceive it as having a meaning because meaning is subjective.
Yeah. You have swayed my opinion, I do believe. You're right, it's a very complex question.
My brain is huge. It's very hard to argue against me. I understand, don't worry.
Dude, you're only
That
like
was
half the
sarcasm, by the
equation.
way.
Cameron's like 10 words.
That was sarcasm.
Cameron's like
yes.
10 words were pretty effective too.
Extremely succinct, yet effective.
You know why that I brought this up? Is because my
Why did you
university,
bring this up?
or specifically, you know, my accommodation, is doing a play called Romeo and Juliet with COVID-19. Like, you know, it's just Romeo and Juliet in the world of COVID. Like, what does that bring to the table at all? What any...
Oh, nothing.
Is there any improvement on the original story?
Drama troupe.
Is it gonna add anything to COVID-19? Is it gonna give us a different perspective? Is it gonna, you know, it's not. It's just gonna be, oh, I have coronavirus. You can't meet me. We have to socially distance. It's like,
It's to have fun while doing it. That's the point
You
of
have
it.
fun, you make friends, you work together as a group. Like, I did dramas year 12 subjects. Those rehearsals, I'll probably not forget them for the rest of my life because we just fucked around so much, had so much fun. And it
Yeah,
was just a
I
great
remember doing
time
a
as
play.
a group of people together, right?
it is
So-
fun. But,
Even if your play itself doesn't have meaning, you still get a meaningful time out of it working with other people.
yeah, you're right.
Like,
You're right.
you as a spectator might not gain any meaning from it because meaning is subjective. But the people who are making the play and enjoying themselves and learning the lines and doing the rehearsals and having fun, there's a meaning to it for them.
Alright, cool. You've swayed my opinion, but can we just agree that the concept
That
of
meaning is
Romeo and
subjective.
Juliet, Romeo and Juliet with COVID as a concept is just really bad and really unoriginal and poorly thought out. This is
It's-
why.
It's not a brilliant idea.
It's
But
not
like
the
I said,
most
as long
creative.
as long as they're having fun and they're enjoying themselves, they're not going to be hurting anyone.
That's
It's like a slightly cringy school play, and I mean, what school play isn't slightly cringy? They're all cringy,
Yeah, you're right.
but they're fun.
Indeed. Alright, who's up with the next topic? I reckon we've done that one.
I think it's supposed to be me, but like,
Just wait, can we just stop for a sec? Can we please change it to green?
No.
illegal.
I only have green.
Good, keep picking up
Aw.
cards.
Oh,
Someone gonna
like
cry.
they say, sucks to suck.
Hey, you gonna cry?
That's fair.
Kiss your
I
pants,
really
mate.
wasn't.
Okay.
Too late for that.
Why is my mic gain set to 100 again? Stop.
'Cause we
Mike be
stupid.
like, your mic's getting swole. Hey Camo, you want a green, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Jokes on you, it didn't change. Ha! Jokes on you, I have a 4.
Oof, that's sad.
Oof.
We unleashed the beast.
And
He's
this
gonna go
is
all
you.
green. No. Quick scoping the, you know.
Alright, here's a subject.
Alright,
This
can
is
we
a
change
really,
it back to green?
really easy topic. Right? What is
Alright.
your favorite season? Based on the weather, not based on what you do during that season or who you spend time with. Based purely on the weather conditions, what is your favorite season?
Autumn. I love
Bearing in
autumn.
mind that we live in Australia, Southern Hemisphere, hotness, all that sort of stuff.
Autumn. It's gotta be autumn. It's so nice.
Really?
I love the rain.
Always
I love the
rains so
cool
much.
temperatures. I love not having constant hay fever. Autumn's just the best.
I would say like autumn, but it would be like the first half of autumn,
Ooh,
where it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
pretty much just summer.
It's like summer, spring mixed, and it's like more rain though. More rain, less pollen. That's
Like,
a good time.
Maybe like the first month of autumn and like maybe the last month of summer or something, probably.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say I actually kind of like winter, but like winter as it's starting to come towards spring, right? So I have hay fever, so I don't really like spring, you know.
No, it's spring. Yeah,
and
dude.
I don't like the heat. I prefer it to be cool. So I like the temperatures during winter, but I don't really like the rain either. So that's the problem. Like, if winter didn't rain, it'd be so perfect. Like, the temperatures and everything are nice.
Dude, I love rain. Rain's so good.
Rain's good, but I don't like walking around in it. And
I can agree.
Stuff in it.
It's great just sitting inside with the rain and like you're like, that's nice.
Yeah, but if it rains every day, there's only so much time you can spend sitting inside before you get bored of your video games and you want to do stuff, right?
You thought. No, I'd get bored eventually.
Like summer, but like, if I stand out in the sun for like 20 minutes in the summer, I literally look like Satan.
I thought you were gonna say 20 seconds. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Ooh.
No, I'm not that pale. I'm not freaking Darian.
Cameron, aren't you the guy who wanted green? Aren't you the dude who wanted green and then you just changed it to red?
No, I've actually got some reds now.
Wait, challenge that. He just put a red down on red. Surely that means he has a red card.
What?
Don't worry about it.
You think the bot's smart enough to challenge anything? He's just going to be like, yeah.
Yes.
He's just going to give this a yeah.
Yeet.
Boom.
Right.
Quick math.
Well, who else has a topic to bring forward for discussion?
Alright, Camo, you're up. I've got one, but you have to go first. Okay.
This is my last one. Do you prefer smooth or crunchy peanut butter?
Crunchy.
Ooh. What for?
Why do I like crunchy better? It's just more flavor. It's more texture.
No, like, I mean, are we making a sandwich?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like, what are we using it for? Because I'd say I like crunchy for basically everything, but sometimes if you're making like just like a peanut butter and jam sandwich, you might want to use smooth.
True.
Like, you know, like how sometimes you go with crunchy peanut butter and you go to like do up the sandwich and it like rips the bread. It's like, oh
yeah.
I hate
crunchy
that.
peanut butter be like
so
sandpaper.
Like whenever the bread gets ripped, like no matter what you're putting on the bread, if like cold Nutella is terrible as well. Cold Nutella destroys bread.
Yeah, you're right.
You know. But other than that, I'd say crunchy. Like if it's a toasted piece of bread, it's pretty resilient. You just slap some crunchy on that, and it's good as, you know.
True.
That's fair.
I think crunchy is just less boring, more texture.
I mean, I really don't care.
Why'd you bring it up there?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of topics and there was a jar of peanut butter in the other room. It's like, yeah.
That's
a question. I'm stupid. I can't think of questions properly.
You need to start bringing up more war topics. That's your area of specialty.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright, I might.
Keep that, I guess.
Here's a topic for that, which I have to do a bit of background explaining for. So, Formula One is a sport that I like to watch. Racing cars, they go very fast. It makes me
Vroom. Yes.
Right? So, in recent history, one specific team, which is Mercedes, has been winning a lot. They've won the championship for like the last 5 or 6 years in a row, back to back. And they've been basically destroying everyone by quite a lot because they have put a lot of work into designing the best car, right? But the FIA, who are the guys who make the rules for F1, have been making a lot of new rules to try and make the Mercedes car worse / make everyone else's car better. So my question to you is, in a competitive sport where people try their best to be better than the other people, should the rules be changed to stop dominance, or should we be rewarding people who are good enough to make a dominant team or dominant car, etc.?
Okay.
Because I don't want it to just be F1 specific. I want to talk about competitive sports in general. Should
I think this
teams be punished for being good in order to make the sport more entertaining for people?
Yeah, that's the point. I think the thing is, what's this sport specifically targeted at? Is it for entertainment purposes, or is it just for finding out who's the best of the best? For example, chess. I think his name is Magnus
That's
Carter.
an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go on.
I think his name is Magnus Carter, and he's like been absolutely dominant for so damn long. And nobody's gonna change the rules of chess because that's dumb. Because chess is a skill-based sport. People don't usually watch chess. It's more like, I know that guy. He's the best in the world, but I don't watch his games actively. Unless I myself play chess. F1 is more for entertainment purposes. I do believe that having a bit of a mix-up of the rules is healthy in keeping people engaged with the sport. So I'd say it really depends on what's the purpose of that sport or that competition in general.
I think, in my opinion, right, so F1 started off as a very personal sport. It was just a couple rich guys going out on their weekend and driving powerful cars that no one else could afford.
Yeah.
But over the years, it's developed into a very big spectator sport that a lot of people watch. And I understand wanting to have closer races and things like that for people to be more entertained. And there has been rule changes for that over the years, So one example is ground effect was something that people used, which made the cars a lot faster, but a lot more unstable and dangerous. And that got banned for safety reasons. That's totally cool. I understand changing the rule. Even though there was one car that was a lot faster than everyone, it's because they were doing something dangerous. So I understand changing the rules to make it not dangerous, right?
Okay.
And then every 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, there's a change to the rules. Like a lot of different rules change to shake everything up and to make it. They usually try and make it so the cars can go closer behind each other without messing each other up. Because aerodynamics, if you're right behind someone else, the air is less neat, to make it simple.
Yeah, I think it's slipstream, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So what they want to do is they want to make the cars leave behind less dirty or messy air, so the car behind them can get closer without the dirty air making them slower.
Yeah, turbulence and all that.
So they change the rules every few years to try and reduce the amount of dirty air, which I understand. But one of the rule changes, for an example, one of the rule changes they've brought in recently is banning engine modes. So in F1, you have like a certain number of engines you use in the whole season. So you have to be careful not to. You can run them at full power, but then they'll destroy themselves pretty quick, and you'll run out of engines before the season ends, which gives you a penalty. So what teams usually do is they put their engines in like a pretty conservative mode during the races, but in qualifying, where you only have to do one lap, they can turn the engine up a little bit more and get a bit more power out of it using a different mode. Mercedes has the most different engine modes to anyone else. So, in qualifying, their car is a lot better than everyone else because they have the most power without destroying their engine. So the FIA has recently banned engine modes, which is very specifically targeted at Mercedes because they get the most benefit from that. And it's not a safety concern, and it's not something that other people can't use. It's just Mercedes uses it the best. And then they've now banned it, so Mercedes can't be using it the best. So do you think that's a reasonable rule change in the spirit of the sport of punishing people for developing an engine? Because it's been the same types of engines for about 4 years now. And in those 4 years, they've developed their engine to have all these different modes, which is a lot of engineering work by like a whole team of thousands of people. So is it like a good idea to ban that? To potentially, not even guaranteed, to potentially make the dominant team a little bit less dominant.
So do I think that altering the rules...
meddling on such a specific level where only trying to affect one team without any safety reason or something like that, I think that's getting a bit too much micromanagement and punishing someone just for being good.
Of the competition itself, that's bad. But for like the spirit of entertainment, which is what I'm assuming is what the rule changes is for.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah, it's reason for that. But for the actual competition itself, it's bad.
Yeah, it's more entertainment than it is competition. So you want me to think...
Let's equate it to Steve, dude. It's like saying you're not allowed to rocket jump anymore because this one player on this one team is an absolute god at rocket jumping.
Yeah, so they stop it all together.
So
Yeah,
they just ban rocket jumping for everyone. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
That's what you'd
Which
think.
in the spirit of competition is bad. That shouldn't be a thing.
I think gaming and real world sports are very different, because in gaming it's an absolute treat to watch someone dominate. But in real sports it can get boring pretty quickly. You know, like you see someone absolutely destroying the enemy team, you're like, okay, you know, sure, we understand that they're great. Like in American football, Tom Brady
games versus real sport. The point was just to get two roughly comparative scenarios.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out that it's slightly
let's
different.
Let's go to a sporting example, right? Let's say
like Tom Brady
Real
isn't.
Madrid.
Okay, Madrid.
Okay. Well, let's say Real Madrid is having a good season and beating a lot of people and stuff like that.
Have they been having just one good season, or have they been having good seasons the past 5 years or so?
Let's say they've had three or four good seasons in a row. Right?
Okay. Yep.
Because one of their players is really good at kicking the ball backwards, for example, like with the back of his heel. Would it be fair for the governing body to ban kicking the ball with the back of your heel?
Ban it?
So.
Hell no.
Yes.
Because that's a skill. Like, it's a difference between skill and parts.
When you look at Formula One, engineering
Is that really...
and knowing how to design something good is a skill. Being able to follow the rules while also designing the best tech is a skill.
Is that a skill you watch, though? Do you watch them designing the car, or do you watch them race and do you watch their dominance while racing?
Since F1 started back in like the 1940s, it's always been about what team can build the best car. They started awarding awards to teams before they even started giving the drivers a championship and awards for that, right?
You know,
it's always been about teams and which team can be the most successful before it started being about the drivers.
I can give you 2 examples where they did something incredibly similar. Right? They altered something significantly for the sake of spectators. The first example is in basketball. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was so incredibly dominant that they had to, change the rules so you can't just guard the hoop constantly because he was incredibly tall. And he was one of the only people that could just constantly guard the hoop. They changed the rule. They made it so you can't do that. And they also made it so that you can slam dunk for 2 points and you can... No, actually, it was 3 shots. 3-pointer line. They created that just because it made it more entertaining and because he couldn't defend against 3-pointers as well. So they added that whole just because that one player was super dominant. The second example is men's swimsuits. Back when they had super aerodynamic swimsuits, it made the sport sort of uninteresting because everyone had such a competitive advantage because of the suit. And that's why they kind of removed it. So it was more about skill and it was less about technical engineering. Do you understand what I'm getting at? It should be more about the driver's skill and the spectating rather than the whole gist of...
That.
Yep.
But when engineering is a very integral part of race car racing.
It's an integral part of all sports.
In GT3 racing, for example, which is kind of like F1, but not really related. It's basically real life on the road sports cars souped up to the max, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everyone tries to make their best car. Or V8 supercars. Well, actually, that's a bad example because everyone's cars are basically the same supercars.
Yeah.
But there are slight differences. Or like in NASCAR, some cars are slightly more powerful than others, or have a little bit more straight line speed, but corner a bit worse, or something like that.
Yep.
Engineering is a very important part in any motorsport. Because the fact that it's a motorsport means it relies a lot on the technology of the motor and the car itself. Whereas soccer, is a lot about people. Like, for a sport about shooting, changing the rules about the guns would be very significant. Whereas changing the size of the soccer ball a little bit would be slightly less significant in soccer than changing the caliber of the bullet in competitive shooting,
So I'll give you an example
guns are so
here.
integral. Whereas in racing, cars are so integral to the sport that changing the rules about the cars.
This is the way I see it. This is the way I see it.
Yeah, go on.
The way I see it, it's like there's a horse race, and the horse race bans all horses that can run over a particular speed.
No, it'd be more like they ban all of a particular breed of horse because they're too good.
They ban, What if they say they ban? I'm
You
gonna
can't have a
ban
horse
this
that can run
sports
over
food.
70.
Shush.
I'm gonna
Like,
ban this sports food because all the horses that eat this food are slightly faster.
Okay, yeah,
And
that'd be a
they've
pretty
been
good
winning.
example.
Whereas,
That's fine. Because of this
but
horses.
the other teams can go out and buy that food. The other
What?
teams can design their own food that is also gives their horses that extra bit of speed.
No. But isn't a roundabout
Mercedes-
available for
Mercedes
everyone?
is not the only team. Mercedes is not the only team that can build an engine. Everyone else is also doing engineering to try and make their best engine. And Mercedes just happens to be the best at it at the moment with the current set of rules.
Okay. But this
So,
change
Why
doesn't...
should you punish them for doing the same thing everyone else is doing, but just being slightly better? It's not like they're doing something different or illegal or using like some different technique to everyone else. They're using the same techniques and following the same rules. They're just getting slightly more out of it.
It's all about entertainment value. You reckon you'd get sick of eventually seeing Mercedes win for the next 20 years, and everyone would be like, oh, okay.
Yes, but the other thing is, with Mercedes, they have the best driver on the grid as well, in the best car. If you took a driver from one of the teams right in the back and put them in the Mercedes car,
Oh, there
they
you go.
wouldn't just win. The
Then
car is
Mercedes
very
dominance...
good, but the driver is also very good, which is what makes the car the best. Because they
Well, then,
also have
yeah.
the driver who is the best.
Then there you go. If they change
now,
that rule, it won't
because
affect
they
Mercedes
can't
much.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can't kick out the driver, so instead they're trying to go after the team because no one likes it when that driver is winning. So, in a roundabout way, what they're actually saying is, when this person wins over and over, we don't like it, so we're going to try and nerf their team so that person can't win anymore.
But Mercedes isn't the only one incorporating a thing. Other teams can as well. It's just they're the only ones that are doing it well. So, it's not just them being hit by the shovel. It's mainly them because they're the only ones really doing it. The other teams could if they wanted to. They're just not.
Yeah,
And besides,
and that's the other
if...
thing as well. Is that everyone's trying to go after Mercedes, but it still affects everyone. So it affects everyone. I get that's what you're trying to say. Yes, it affects everyone. But it affects Mercedes the most, and they know it's going to affect Mercedes the most. And the people who made the rule have specifically said, we're doing this to try and make Mercedes slower.
Well, then that's their choice, isn't it, for the purposes of entertainment? Besides, if
I
they
know,
have the
but I'm
best
saying-
driver...
Yes, and that's why I'm asking you, should entertainment come before the spirit of competition? Which one do you think is more important? That's what the topic is.
Yeah, okay. It very much depends on what.
The topic isn't why did they make the decision. The topic is, do we think that entertainment should come before fair competition?
I think it very much depends on the sport. Olympic Games, if
Should
you
we-
want to be the world's best at something in a very restrict and regulated fashion, no, entertainment should definitely not come before competition. In something like Formula 1, which can be modified slightly, it's more about the entertainment value than it is about the actual, best driver. Because I can 100% bet that the best driver in the world would not be participating in Formula 1. He'd probably be doing something else. He might be a regular Joe, very unlikely, but he's almost certainly not in Formula 1. So if you want to be the very best at something and some skill, that is not dependent on entertainment. That should be 100% in the spirit of competition. If you want to be the best at a
That's the
sport
point.
that you
F1
watch, that should be...
F1 is a competition that's supposed to prove what company is the best engineers in the world and what driver is the best driver in the world. Every other, well, not every, but most
You
other
have to
major
separate
sporting
those two
competitions
concepts.
of racing
You
go
cannot have those
into
two
F1.
concepts together and expect a fair, sportsman-like thing. It's either each
Well, then
car,
that's
each company
that's a good
makes...
answer then. That's,
Yeah.
That's a good answer then, is that you think that it should be split.
Yeah, because you
But,
can't
here's the
you can't have both.
Because before F1, you do F2, right? F2 comes before F1.
Mm-hmm.
And in F2, everyone has the same car.
There you
just
go.
with different paint on it, right? And in
Yeah.
F2, Lewis Hamilton, who is the best driver for Mercedes, who's the driver for Mercedes, who's been dominating, won
Mm-hmm.
F2. He proved that he is the best driver in his generation, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then he went into F1 and dominated. And then
Yeah, so-
everyone complained that Lewis Hamilton, who's proved he's a really good driver, possibly the best, is
Mm-hmm.
dominating. Now we should change the rules to stop him from having a car that allows him to dominate. we want his car to be worse than everyone else so he can't dominate. Which
I
don't
doubt
think
it'd be
is
worse
fair
than
to
everyone
say.
else. It'd probably be more equal
No,
to everyone
it's
else's.
not. But they're trying to make it that way. It's not at the moment. And this current rule change is not going to make it worse. But they want it to be the
Worse.
same or worse than everyone else.
Yeah, they make
so that
basically.
other people can win.
Yeah, they want to make it
Basically,
more
they're saying
entertainment.
Max
Entertaining. Yeah.
Verstappen in a Red Bull cannot consistently beat Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes. So we
Mm-hmm.
want to make it so that they can consistently beat Lewis Hamilton.
Ooh,
so they
that's
can
a
be
sheesh.
consistently fighting with each other. So
There's a difference
it's
between
like-
beating and like competing with each other. Is like Lewis Hamilton massively dominant, like he wins 80%, or is it close to a 50-50 split? Because 50-50 is
it's close
entertaining,
to-
but
It's
yeah, go
close to
on.
Lewis Hamilton winning like 80 to 90%.
Yeah, then there you go. That's not very entertaining, is it? If someone's that uncontested in a sport that's meant to be mainly for entertainment. F2, I can guarantee. I can agree that F2 is racing skill from what you've told me. If all the cars are standardized, that is a skill.
Yeah, all the cars are totally standard though.
But F1 sounds like it's more towards entertainment rather than, you know, specifically seeing who is the best of the best. It'd be like, who's the goodest sort of team and racer combo? It's not like this team is incredible and this racer is incredible. It's like, who does pretty well overall? And that sounds like it's more geared towards entertaining than it is to, you know, specifically judging someone on their ability. I'd say it is kind of unfair
Yeah.
overall. It's like, it seems kind of sus, but in the spirit of entertainment, I'd say it's justified. If it makes the sport better to watch and more interesting to watch, there you go, you know.
Because basically, for the last like 10 years, and then probably a bit more than 10 years, F1 on TV, F1 has been losing money because not enough people watch it on
Yeah.
TV.
That's a lot of car racing events. They've been losing money. NASCAR's almost
So
out of
they're
business.
They're trying to make it so more people watch it on TV. And they're like, so basically what the governing body has said is, Mercedes, you make the best car, and you're really good, and we respect that. But we want people to watch this on TV, so we're going to try and stop you from winning all the time.
So yeah, it does.
And, like,
It comes
I
down
mean,
to saving the
It's
sport
putting
or
the
being
TV
fair.
before the competition better. It's like,
I'd say without the TV viewing, the competition wouldn't exist at all, basically. So, you know, I'd say the decision overall, yeah, it's justified. It's not very
I feel
fair.
like the problem is with a sport that's been going on for so long. Originally, TV when F1 first started, TV wasn't even a thing, pretty much, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So when the competition first started, and the way it was designed to be when they set it out, was to be for fun and to see who builds the best car and to see who races the best, right?
Yeah.
Because TV didn't exist back then. Money, it was only rich people did it, so they didn't have to worry about money, you know? And they
Yeah.
weren't going to like professionally made circuits with bleachers for thousands of people and needing to meet all these health and safety regulations for hosting an event. And they didn't have to, you know, they didn't have to repave the surface every year and make sure that there's enough food stalls for everyone to eat. They didn't have to worry about all that sort of stuff. They just
Yeah.
had to worry about build the car, move the car to the track, race the car at the track, move to the next track. Right?
But now they do,
So
so
back
it's like,
then, it was all about engineering. And now they have to do that, which,
Yeah.
because the sport was established so long ago, the rules of the sport and the concept of monetized sport were not designed to go together,
mm-hmm. Yep.
which is now causing problems, like
Yeah.
this problem.
So overall, in the sake of trying to save F1, I'd say it's justified. In the sake of competition, I'd say it's definitely not. You can't just remove someone's dominance by specifically targeting them. But if it gets more viewers and if it saves F1, whatever, you know, greater good and all that, that's my basic view on it.
Yeah.
What about you, Camo?
Okay.
Is that around about what you think? Or do you have something slightly different?
Pretty much. I mean, like, yeah, it's
Being
just like,
quiet today.
I have a headache, that's why.
That's fair.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's just, like, for the actual competition itself, for the sake of seeing what and who is the best, it's bad. But for the sake of making money, it's potentially good.
Yeah, I think that's the general answer that you'd be getting. The priorities are kind of...
My topic brought forward some good discussion, and we talked about it for a while, so...
Very cool.
Who else has a topic, or are we ending now?
If I can remember the topic, we might talk about that for a bit, but I don't think I can. What was it?
How long is the recording?
Almost 2 hours, probably.
Yeah, we should probably stop there.
Alright, yeah, I guess we'll end it here. If you somehow made it to the end, why?
You should be very sad. I'm disappointed in you for watching all the way to the end of this video.
And otherwise...
Subscribe, dislike the video, and tell
thumbs
your
down.
friends you're disappointing to your family.
Yeah. Otherwise,
That's
I guess
my personal advice to you.
Yeah, I guess otherwise we'll see you... Or probably won't, but some of you will see you next week.